I want to talk to you about caffeine withdrawals. I mean, nobody really puts an emphasis on what a silent group of people may be going through when they finally decide to kick caffeine. I mean, I went through it myself. I went from enjoying the euphoric experience with coffee, powering through my days with the extra boost of energy, to really experiencing what some may call caffeine withdrawals. It almost went to the point where it got so bad till you almost felt like you were on a drug before and you got off of it and now you're having a withdrawal. I mean, it's incredible how different I felt when I stopped drinking caffeine. Okay, what started or prompted me to quit caffeine was I started having gut issues. Whatever was causing the gut issues, I wanted to kick it so I could get my gut better. But what I didn't know that when I stopped drinking coffee, that it would also cause a slew of other issues that either went unresolved in the beginning or I started to get them once I kicked the caffeine. The first thing that I noticed was what I mentioned before was gut issues. I noticed that I would have discomfort. I noticed that I would start to have more bloating. I noticed that my stomach would just wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't feel settled. It would feel sensitive to different foods. Went to the doctor for it and they said, "Hey, this can't be coffee that you're experiencing. This has to be something else." I said, "The only thing I changed in my routine was kicking the coffee. That's the only thing I changed, but still no avail." Another issue I noticed was the brain fog. I mean, listen, I went from sharp thinking and quick thinking to just the foggiest conversation and thinking process ever. It's amazing how just kicking the coffee or the caffeine could cause such a disruption in how I thought on a day to day basis. Another thing I experienced was eye issues. I went from seeing things clearly, at least I thought, to not seeing clear enough. It wasn't blurry vision. It wasn't like a blurred vision. It was more so like a just not as crystal clear as you normally see. I didn't wear glasses up until that point. But what I didn't realize was caffeine can mask some of the issues that you may already be having. But because you're feeling that euphoric feeling and that jolt of energy, because your adenosine receptors are not, working, that could cause you to believe that you're all good. So, one of the first things that I did to fix the things that were going on while I was going through caffeine withdrawals was I started to fix my gut issues. So, what did I do with that? I kind of went more strict on my eating. I had to cut out gluten and dairy for a while also trying to work on my gut bacteria, also strengthening my gut barrier and things like that. But it was a process. It wasn't, just an overnight situation. It was a process. It was trial and error. And once I started to really hone in on the things that could further irritate my gut started getting better. I started healing, et cetera, et cetera. The next thing I did was I started to address my sleep. Little did I know I had mild sleep apnea, but the caffeine was masking the poor quality of sleep I was getting. So what I did was I took an at-home sleep test, and that's what made me discover that I had mild sleep apnea. And then I addressed it. I started to do treatment and things of that nature because the caffeine was literally masking the poor quality of sleep that I was getting because all I would do is sleep, wake up, get the coffee in my system or the caffeine in my system, and I wouldn't be tired anymore. So who cares if I woke up tired? As long as I had the caffeine to make me feel better, everything else was in place, no biggie. And the third thing, which was the brain fog, I realized that Once I started getting better sleep and once I improved my diet even the more from the foods that I was kind of intolerant to, I noticed that the brain fog kind of went away because I was getting better quality sleep. I was also eating better foods that gave me more energy, and I was also stricter on the foods that were harder for me to digest. So, all in all, the truth is, if you're having caffeine withdrawals, you're not alone. It's a real thing. It affects people differently. It's not one size fits all. Everyone thinks that because they don't go through it, no one else does. And I'm here to tell you today that you may be going through it. I honestly understand it because I went through it, and there's a way to heal and there's light at the end of the tunnel. If you have any questions about your caffeine withdrawals, shoot them in the comments. I'm here to help, and I hope you get well soon. Salute.